So, for instance, back in 2015 when we started with around 1 million light bulbs or light combinations in the whole display. We're between 1.5 and 2 million lights. Actually, I can't say that's the right number because we added the new lights on the trees last year, which doubled the pixels that we had on them. And if you count the lighting combinations that those make, we're definitely hitting around the 2 million plus at this point for sure.
Welcome to Bottled Up, the podcast where we dive into our vibrant coastal community and explore the events and projects shaping the Gulfport area. I'm your host, Andrew Allen, and today, man, do we have an exciting holiday episode for you. On this episode, we venture into the enchanting world of Gulfport's Harbor Lights, the spectacular holiday light show that has captured the hearts of tens of thousands. We're thrilled to have special guests with us today, Billy Lehman, the Assistant Director of Leisure Services, and Alicia Chambless, the Special Events Coordinator for the City of Gulfport. Together, they'll give us a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to bring this magical event to life. Throughout our conversation, you'll learn the extensive planning that goes into Harbor Lights, the innovative collaborations that keep the experience fresh, and hear personal stories about how this event creates cherished holiday memories for families and attracts visitors from near and far. So stay tuned as we illuminate the wonders of Harbor Lights and the incredible effort that makes this beloved event shine every holiday season. I have two special guests with us. We have Billy Lehman and Alicia Chambless. Billy is the Assistant Director of Leisure Services for the City of Gulfport, and Alicia is the Special Events Coordinator. Thank y'all for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So I wanted to kind of get a little bit of the history of your guys' careers and kind of get into how you got on with the team of the City of Gulfport. So, Billy, let's start with you. Where did you grow up, and what kind of made you want to get into the public sector working for a city?
All right. Yeah. So, born in Gulfport, raised in Saussure and D'Iberville, graduated from D'Iberville High School in class of '09. In 2012, I got a job working in the harbor under the harbor master, George Manaman, and kind of where it all started. I really liked being on the water, liked working around the boats, work around the people. And so in 2015 is when, we kind of jumped into Harbor Lights. I was the Harbor Lights coordinator for a couple years. I left the city to finish school, came back in about 2020, I believe, right before the world shut down.
Yeah.
Then was the special events manager for a little while, took over Harbor Lights again, and just this year became the assistant director for leisure services.
That's nice. That's good to hear. Alicia, what about you? Where did you grow up, and how did you get into the career that you're doing now?
So I grew up in the Delta in Mississippi and moved here when I was 15 to Gulfport.
How was that? How was coming from the Delta down here? I don't really get to talk to people who were from that area that have come down to a coast rat, as they might say. How was that?
Well, coming from the land of soybean fields and catfish ponds, it's a lot different, like a completely different world down here. Big transition. The school I was in was a K through 12 school, and there were 500 people total, kindergarten through 12th grade in that school. In my graduating class of 2007, there were close to 400 at Gulfport High School. So quite the transition. I started with the city actually in 2009. I was a dispatcher until 2013 for the Gulfport Police Department.
Oh, wow.
I left there. I was married, having kids, so I stayed home with my babies for a while. Moved to Hattiesburg for a few years, and then moving back here, I was looking for a job. I jumped into Gulfport School District for about a year, and then the special events coordinator position came open, and I applied for that and came in, not really knowing what to expect. I'd never done event coordination before, but knowing that Harbor Lights was involved, I love Christmas, and that's a big part of this position that I've taken, and just the excitement of being on a team that plans all of that is awesome.
Well, I mean, I would imagine that Billy, you had the same job she had before, so there's a little bit of there's some help there, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's always a leg up when you have someone who's literally done your job who can kind of point you in the right direction and give you some direction on that.
Definitely. I lean on him daily for all of the questions, all the answers.
Well,
He
there's
is
a
an
there's a
asset.
lot that goes into it. I mean, you're talking about, hundreds of people having to be put together for one goal for 2.5 months out of the year. I mean,
Yes.
it's when do y'all start planning the process of what changes need to be made? How does that process look? I know that we've been a sponsor for the last 3 years, so I've kind of seen a little bit of the changes. But how does that planning process work, and how does it all come about? I mean, I know that it's thousands, hundreds of thousands of lights and different fixtures, and y'all are bringing new things in. I know we've added trains, we've added a bigger train station, we've changed the pavilion a bunch of times. So kind of take me through the planning process and when that timeline starts.
So, for instance, we actually start planning for the following year right about now. We start set up for the year. We're usually around the third week of September for the that year's show. And as we are putting things up, seeing what probably should have been done differently, we start planning for the next year. So basically, it's nonstop. We work 14, 15 months in advance for the show. And you're 100% right. Things have changed dramatically since year one. So when the show started in 2015, for instance, it was really just light silhouettes. I think we had a Ferris wheel and the dancing trees. Santa's Village was minuscule to what it is now.
Absolutely.
I think we had like Santa there 4 nights of the season in year one, and it's grown since then. There's been some major key people that no longer are with the city that have helped develop it to where it is, for sure.
Well, I think that the fact that you are immediately, I think that's a really smart play, is the fact that you're immediately looking at what fixes need to be made and then making notes and jotting it down for the following year is a really good idea that way. Because I know once it's up and you're in the thick of it, I mean, it's all or nothing. You are going constantly because the event takes place at night. So when y'all are working during that time period, I imagine you're still working your daily hours and then you have to work at night. So how does that work? Do y'all take shifts, or I mean, how hands on are you and Alicia when it comes to this?
So last year, for instance, last year was the first year that the events division with the city was brought into its own umbrella. Before it was kind of wrapped under the leisure services umbrella. And Leonard Papania, our CAO last year, when the special events manager position came open, he decided to make some big changes for the events division. And with that became our own little team that was able to form and help with Harbor Lights. So last year we had three people in our leadership team. It was me, Alicia, and Scorpio Norman, who is not here with us today. He's actually out in the field
Yeah, I know
with
Scorpio. I've
contractors.
met him a couple times. He's
Yeah,
a nice guy.
so us three were kind of managing the show. There was two of the three of us there every night. Alicia handles all of our employees and seasonals and our deposits and stuff like that. And Scorpio is more of the showrunner. He handles all the operations during the night hours of the show, guest relations, stuff like that. And then I fill in for when they're off. So I do both of their roles when they're not there. So we kind of rotate around to spread the love, I guess you could say. So that way not everyone's working, 35, 36 nights the whole time. And then this year we've actually added, with me getting the promotion to assistant director for leisure services, we've added a fourth person into that mix to help alleviate some of that manpower stress that we're kind of under with running the show.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine Alicia. The crazy thing that I think about is like when I think about the holidays, right? I think about, this is a family time and you guys are basically having to put some of that on hold and bounce it around to make sure that people come to this event and that the event is successful. So it sounds to me like that y'all have a pretty good process in place of how to man this and get it done, as well as giving you guys some time off during the holidays. Because I mean, normally in corporate world, I see it on my side with PepsiCo, dealing with them. It's like people start mailing it in around November 1st, and it's like it's the we'll circle. It's called like circle back season. We're gonna circle back on that after the new year, and that's when y'all are in the thick of it, right? So. How do y'all feel about the system that y'all have put in place when it comes to being able to take off and spend time with your families and all that?
So I have four kids, and they understand what I do. Their ages 9, 11, 13, and 17, and they know that this time of year is my busy time for events. The fun part about it is I can take them to work with me.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so they get to run the light show for however many nights the mom's there if we wanted to. A lot of times though, they get bored of it. They've seen it. They don't want to go back. It's cold. It's, whatever. So I have a good support system at home to keep them entertained while I'm at work. And also, when the kids are out of school for their holiday breaks, I can spend the morning time with them and then go in a little later and adjust my hours as needed. So that's a little different. We can go catch an early movie or go play somewhere for a while. And then it's a juggle, but we work it out. It's fun.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so for someone who has never been to Harbor Lights, it kind of walk that person through or the listener through exactly what Harbor Lights is and the scale that it's grown to for the 2024 Harbor Lights season.
So, for instance, let's see. Back in 2015, when we started with around a million light bulbs or light combinations in the whole display. It was a walkthrough, but again, Santa's Village wasn't what it is. There was a few things on the weekends, and then I think we had one carnival ride. We had like a train company there, and like one carnival food booth. It was something to see. We were just getting started. We had no clue what we were getting into. I think originally the plan was for it to be a drive-through tour. And after we laid everything out, and I think someone did a drive through Jones Park and did a test, they're like, okay, well, that 90 seconds wasn't going to be worth it. So we kind of had to evolve it as we went in year one. And spring forward to today, we have the full 40 acres of Jones Park and Barksdale full of Christmas lights. The whole area is blocked off, so it's strictly Christmas. And then what we've done and what Scorpio has been a major part of with Barksdale is basically turn Barksdale into what we call Santa's Village. There is tons to do. There's talking reindeer. You walk through Santa's house. You get to see Santa in his, I guess you could call it his living room. We have an expanded gift shop that we really hit on last year that we're hitting up hard this year. So you can bring those mementos home, to kind of remember what you did in what year, stuff like that. We have I think we're adding a third sweets vendor inside the Barksdale this year. So you'll have Island View serving the hot chocolate and the candies and marshmallows for the fire pits. You have Sawyer Sweets, which has our donut shop. It has the Pepsi products. It has, I think we're adding like freeze dried candy in that to this year. And
Yeah,
then we're
those
also,
are good.
and this is all under Barksdale, which started as a 4 night out of 30 night event, turning into a full 32 night, just super awesome experience. I don't have any other way to describe it. You really just have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of throw my 2 cents into there. It's seeing how this event has grown and to see the amount of traffic you guys are drawing across other states, people coming in from all over the country. I mean, I know that there's people who drive down from the Midwest. There's people who come down from northern states to see this. It's not. This isn't rinky dink. This is legitimately a massive Christmas village that you guys have built right there on the water. And I have to commend you guys for constantly adding and innovating and not just leaving it how it is. I mean, they have a tunnel. They have a lighted tunnel that's probably 200 feet long that people do wedding proposals in. I mean, it's the event is something that you have to come to see to realize how great it actually is. So, Alicia, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite part about Harbor Lights? What's your favorite whether either a display or area of Harbor Lights?
So when I came in last year, we have this giant octopus, and he's a 3D ornament where most of our displays are silhouettes, and he's huge and he doesn't really fit in. So I was like, let's exploit him. Let's make him the star of the show. And so we named him. He's Inky, and we made a plush out of him, which is really cute and awesome. We worked one-on-one with a company that designed him. They took a picture and put him 3D and turned him into a stuffed animal. The kids love him. We had shirts made with him. We have silly pints. We have made him our focus. And we actually found out at a trade show this last year that there are also two small octopi that go with him. And so we've got them coming for this year's show as well. So adding him and his kelp garden with his kids is going to be my favorite part this year for sure.
Inky, huh?
Yes.
I think you showed me a prototype last year of what y'all were planning on doing with Inky, and I that's a great idea.
Yes. He was a hit last year. Kids and adults loved him.
Billy, what about you? What's your favorite area or part of the Harbor Lights displays?
For me, it's really Santa's Village. I think just because I know what it started at and where it's grown to and what it is now. I mean, don't get me wrong, the dancing trees are spectacular. And last year we added a new set of lights on those, which I don't know if people really understand that we did make that change, but really depict some of the pictures inside those trees. But overall, Santa's Village is definitely my happy place. That's where I like to hang out when I'm there. Seeing everyone's faces, it's just seeing what them walking in to not knowing what we've done to seeing what we have done in the vision of everyone on my team that has just put their time, effort, love into this thing is really just something spectacular.
Well, anyone that's ever done Christmas lights, whether it's at your house or you unpack them from the attic or wherever you keep them, how do y'all maintain all of those lights? I mean, because lights are finite, right? They'll have little fuses that go out. They'll have, is there like a 20, 30 man team that just checks all those lights before y'all put them up? I mean, how does that operation work? I would imagine because I've had strands of lights where I'm just trying to net light, some bushes in my front yard.
So
And
we hire several contractors to help with the light installation. We actually have a team of 4 that work in the warehouse year round. One of them is 100% dedicated Harbor Lights. The other 3 help with other events throughout the year that we have, whether it be putting up a stage, putting up barricades, putting up some fencing, something like that. But their other sole purpose is to do Harbor Lights. They'll check lights, they'll bundle them up, they'll get a count. But the contractors actually are checking the lights as they're putting them up. So luckily for us, we don't actually have to do that ourselves. But correct, they have like a 10-man team that's out there wrapping trees and checking lights as they're putting them up.
where do y'all source all your lights from, Billy? Are y'all having to constantly buy bulk lights to replace these lights?
So we buy a bulk order of lights every year, and being a municipality, we have to do stuff by bid and by purchasing law. So we usually get a list and we send it out for bid, and we have specific contractors we send it out to. Anyone that can provide the lighting, we send out the bid to send us a bid, and we do lowest and best on that, and we just get them on pallets at that point. They don't go out as much as you would think. However, some of the lights are still pretty new. We didn't start vegetation lights in year 1. We didn't do that till about year 3, I think, 2 or 3. So some of those are coming up to the end of their lifespan. So we're going to be probably hitting those pretty hard the next coming years. But we buy about 10% replacement every single year.
10%. Okay.
Just to kind of keep up on it so we don't get behind, basically.
What's the estimated current amount of lights you guys have down in all the displays combined? I know that there's an estimation.
We're between 1.5 and 2 million lights, and that includes different light. I think actually I can't say that's the right number because we added the new lights on the trees last year, which doubled the pixels that we had on them. And if you count the the lighting combinations that those make, which, a little RGB light can have an unlimited,
Oh
hue of
yeah,
light colors coming out of it. We're definitely hitting around the 2 million plus at this point for sure.
that's crazy. 2 million lights and 40 acres is something that you need to come check out. So if anybody who's listening to this has not been to Harbor Lights, I would highly suggest you get down there and you see this display because it's worth your time to go down. Y'all have added some more vendors down there this year. And I think we just got the list of who you guys added, but if you want to, could you kind of explain what other vendors are down in the harbor this year?
Yeah, so we have let's see, a new one this year. She's been with us before, but she was out of it last year. It's Liz Anomi's Miss Raven. She's gonna have turkey legs. Alicia, what is she having? She's having a lot of good stuff. Gonna have her.
All I can remember is the turkey legs.
Yeah, you lost me at turkey legs, really.
It's hard to forget a turkey leg, guys.
Right. So she's gonna have assorted candies, baked goods, soft pretzels, candied fruit, nachos, pulled pork. She's having just a whole bunch of randoms that are all gonna be great additions.
That fills in a lot of the gaps, Billy.
Oh, correct. Oh, yeah, most definitely. And then we have our one of our favorites, Tony's Pizzeria, downtown Gulfport. They're going to be back, and they also serve all the alcohol for the adults who want to partake. Paula, they're our carnival Mississippi Delta shows. They're our carnival folks. They supply all our rides, and they supply usually two food booths, which is like a candy booth and like a burger and fry booth.
Yeah,
Well, they're
Delta
adding.
shows.
Yep, Delta shows. They're adding a third piece this year, soft serve ice cream, and it's with homemade waffle cones. I haven't tried them myself, but I heard they are the best thing around, so I'm
Oh, that'd
really
be great.
excited. You wouldn't think that people wanted cold stuff at Harbor Lights, but we've come to learn that they want snow cones, they want ice cream, they want it all. And then a new addition this year, one of the last new additions is Tom's Traveling Coffee. I don't know if you've ever had them,
I have
but
not.
they have some of the best coffee and nitro, which is like their energy drink, and lemonade on tap. And they're going to be down there every night as well. And they're actually going to be right across from the train station. So they're going to be right next to you guys.
Oh, well, good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the process of going through all of them and just reconnecting and getting them in touch with delivery dates and
Hmm.
contact info and all that. So we'll probably have that wrapped up by the end of next week.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure we stay on top of everything down there. I don't want to. The last thing I want is for there be an issue to be an issue on our end.
Yeah.
So, well, I think what's the future look like in the next 5 years for Harbor Lights? I mean, what if there's a peek behind the curtain? What does it look like if we were talking about like 2029, 2030 for Harbor Lights? Do y'all know or is there anything in the works?
That's honestly 100% a great question. I don't personally know. We can't look that far ahead. We can only take short steps ahead only because of our mayor, council, city process. Elections are coming up.
Yep.
So I have no idea what the future looks like just because of that situation. If we get a whole new council or a new mayor, there's no telling what could happen. However, this is going to be something hard for anyone to let go of. It has
Oh, I
become such a tradition.
I totally
Everyone
agree.
loves coming out. I think in 2015 we had 20,000 people, and we were just super giddy to even get close to that. And last year we had a record-breaking year, and we were around 120,000 people, which is just amazing.
That's wild. I mean, if you think about the growth over 9 year span, that's a lot of people. I mean, you grew 5 times in 9 years, in 8 years.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's something great to see, and I really enjoy being part of it for sure.
well, I'm glad that we're a part of it as well. I think that Christmas means a lot to people. I think it's probably by majority everyone's favorite holiday, just by the time of year and what it means and how
Hmm.
and the memories and things can tap into when it comes to Christmas. So I feel blessed that we have a town that I live in that actually does something like this that we can provide for the coast. So I appreciate all the work that you guys do down there with this event.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for being such a great sponsor. You guys being one of the two sponsors that we have down there has just been really great. So
Well, if there's anything, any ideas that you have that you want to try to make the event better, or changes that you want to make that you think that would make the event better, please don't hesitate to reach out, because that's what we're all about is not sitting still, making sure we improve everything and try to make everything good for the customers and the visitors who come down and see it. So for people who want to visit Harbor Lights, when do you kick off and how do they get tickets?
we actually have tickets go on sale on November 1st. You can go to gulfportharborlights.com. You can go to our Facebook page. There's links to all the ticket buying processes. They go on sale November 1st. Opening night is November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving. And just so everyone's aware, we did lose a week this year because of the way Thanksgiving falls. So if people think that they're going to go, the week after Thanksgiving, well, that's in December already. So I just want to make sure everyone remembers to plan their schedules accordingly. I don't want y'all to miss out because we're down 7 days this year because of the way Thanksgiving falls.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally it's near like you having that. Yeah, you're right. You do have that additional week. So y'all are only gonna be 5 weeks instead of 6.
Yeah. So I think we're down to 31 nights versus 36 or 37 or something like that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, for anyone who is listening, I would highly recommend taking your friends and family down to Harbor Lights in downtown Gulfport. It's worth you'll drive by, you'll see what we're talking about. It's a fun, family friendly event. It's only around for a little while, even shorter while this year. So I would recommend buying your tickets on the 1st and making sure that you go down and check it out. I appreciate y'all coming on, Billy, Alicia. I want people to come to this event because I think it kind of adds to the holiday season a lot more. It kind of, especially we had a supervisor of mine about 4 or 5 years ago. He was talking about proposing to his wife at Harbor Lights, but it didn't work. It didn't work out that way. She didn't. I don't think that she wanted him to do that. So he kind of picked up on the signals. But y'all do have a Facebook page as well where you can go and kind of see what we're talking about. How do they find that on Facebook?
it's super easy. You just search Gulfport Harbor Lights. You can go to the city Facebook page. They share all of our stuff. Really, a quick Google search will give you everything you need to know. It has the Facebook page. It has our website. Really easy to find because there's so many people hitting it. So,
Well, all right. If there was one thing that y'all could add to the Harbor Lights between you and Alicia, what would that be for each one of you? If you could have anything added that you would be able to do, like let's just say that someone was like, "We'll put whatever you want in." What would that be, Billy?
I'd probably say our next big feat would love to have an ice skating rink down there. Whether or not that's ever feasible, not sure, but that would be
It's
a
a really
great
cool
addition.
idea.
Hmm.
It's a really cool idea. What about you, Alicia?
That's a hard question just because the possibilities feel like they're endless. I would like to see our train have its own track at some point. That that would be awesome to get it off of the sidewalks. That would be pretty sweet to see that.
Yeah, to where it kind of has its own mandated area where it's not people
Yes.
aren't having to like make way.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be neat. That would be very neat. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on the show and kind of discussing this event that people need to look forward to when it comes to this holiday season. So, if y'all need anything, feel free to reach out. I'm more than willing to help and listen to any ideas that you guys have when it comes to making this event better. I think it's really great now and it's getting better every year. So
Hmm.
we're excited to be a part of it and just really appreciate y'all coming on.
We thank you for having us, and we appreciate it, Andrew.
Absolutely. With over 2 million dazzling lights and some amazing attractions, Gulfport's Harbor Lights truly is a spectacle that must be seen to be believed. This incredible event not only lights up our nights, but also brightens the holiday spirit for residents and businesses across the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Loved by young and old alike, Harbor Lights offers a magical experience that brings our community together in ways that few events can. Go and get your tickets that are on sale now so you don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind coastal holiday experience. Visit GulfportHarborLights.com or find them on Facebook for more information. I want to thank our guests, Billy Lehman and Alicia Chambless, for sharing the exciting history and details about Gulfport Harbor Lights. Plus, a big thanks to all of you, our listeners, for tuning in at Bottled Up, where we are all about uncorking the stories that shape our coastal home. And remember to always support our local businesses, restaurants, and events. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year's, and keep those spirits bright. Thanks for listening to the Bottled Up Podcast. Want us to deliver this show to your email inbox as they drop? Want to tell us about how you like the show? Or do you want to tell us about a Gulf Coast business or restaurant that you'd like for us to spotlight in any upcoming episodes? Email Morgan Wheeler at mwheeler, MWHEELER, at abevinc.com. That's ABEVINC.com. Want to know more about Allen Beverages and how we work with our clients, partners, and vendors? Check out allenbeverages.com. This show was edited and produced by Johnny Gwynn and Deep Fried Studios.